Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 25th of July, comes to you from London. I'm still on a little bit of a bedside vigil with my father in end-of-life care, sadly, so I have been a bit limited on Charts Today, and I apologise for not delivering it to you every day. It is a free service, so I just do the best I can to deliver it when I can. Looking at the markets this morning, remembering this is my weekly, my daily, my 60-minute chart, and the corresponding point and figure chart, so my long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market. So the dollar looks continually bullish. Remember, we've been saying all year that 2022 would be the year of the dollar, and we see here we're just bullish on those long-term and medium-term charts. Short-term, we're just testing the cloud, but the long-term and medium-term trends would normally win. The euro, we saw an interest rate rise last week to interest rates moving from negative in the eurozone, but the fact is that the euro is still looking very, very weak, and this parity level, and we've been putting out reports to our enterprise clients on the euro for some time saying that we see parity being broken. Sterling looking a bit better at 120, having moved just a little bit higher, but of course the trend is still down. We are just seeing a little bit better this week for sterling, and in fact on our weekly report just out to clients, we're bullish on sterling versus the euro this week. Bitcoin is sitting at 21,980, so just still really struggling, and until we're back above that 30,000 level, it's game over really for crypto. The S&P 500 index was down 1% on Friday, still looking very worrying, and looking at the trend for the year so far, we're just seeing that trend down. Whilst we have a little bit of short-term respite, these long-term targets do still hang over us, and we are wandering below the cloud here on the weekly, and on the NASDAQ we're actually already below the cloud on the lagging line, and so that's just a sign. We have got some reporting from the majors this week, the tech majors, and it'll be interesting to see, but expect disappointing results because the charts herald the fact that we should expect bad news in downtrends. The futures this morning are a little changed, so market will open generally flat. We're seeing the FTSE future down 0.25%, the DAX in Germany down 0.25%, so European markets just opening lower. And looking at Asia, pretty much down across the board there as well. We're seeing the Sensex in India, for example, down 0.6%. Japan was down by a similar amount, so most markets there falling. And the Aussie market actually looking a little bit more resilient, was only down 0.02%, so the best of a bad bunch, really. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Looking at wheat, that's been an interesting one. We had big falls last week on the announcement. We've fallen right the way back to really where we were at the start of the Russia-Ukraine war. But interestingly, and we are just bearish now on those medium and long-term charts, but the trend is still bullish on that long-term chart. Looking at gold, sitting at 1729, really just can't shake this 1700 sort of area at the moment, and that is just putting us long-term bearish. But of course we still do have these big upside targets, so we are just in this big range now for gold, and in fact we can just put the levels on the chart there, and we see there that we're just in this range, and that's going to be quite significant for watching for the break. Looking at US 10-year yields, sitting at 2.79%, again falling right the way back there, so that's going to be quite key as well. Looking at the energy mix, we've got Brent crude down this morning, the trend holding on the Brent crude chart daily, but if you look at the WTI chart, we are just failing that trend, so that just does herald some interesting moves the oil price. Looking at US nat gas, we are recovering since that Freeport accident, and that's still looking pretty bullish there. And looking at coal, so holding the 220, 255 level. Looking at gas prices this morning, TTF up 3%, NBP up just 1%. So we are just seeing building some support there on the chart on NBP. And if we look at German power, we are just seeing here moves on the this is the German power price just holding a little bit steady this morning. That's it for today. Oh, and just one more thing on emissions. I didn't talk about emissions. Big falls there last week, and we talked about those in our morning reports. And I noticed this morning on just my alerts coming out in Updata Enterprise that we see here downside targets for emissions. So it looks like another bad week there, and we've put out our weekly report covering that. That's it for today. Until the next time I can get to do charts today, happy charting. See you then.